Matt Henderson here, joining me for Wild Wednesday. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Now, where did hockey begin for you?
It began when I was about 2. I was able to go see my cousin and uncle play, and growing up, I never called it hockey. I always called it go-go, because all his parents always said, go, go, go. And, after a year, I turned 3, and my parents just laced me up, and I started skating around, and by 3 and a half, I was already in organized hockey, playing, mini mites or whatever.
From what I've read, you had a successful high school career. You were senior year captain, led the team with 35 points, led the team to state finals, which you eventually lost. Do you notice any difference between high school and junior hockey?
My first year, I noticed a little bit difference. A lot of people are more aggressive to each other than in high school, because you go to school with everybody and you know everybody. But it was weird the first year just because I had no idea who anybody was. And now that I'm here, I know more than a handful, and then it was just easier to click with the guys here than the first year around.
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't your first year. You played juniors last year, right?
I did. I played with the Laconia Leafs in the AJHL.
And what happened there? How'd you end up at the Maine Wild?
They ended up folding a week before the season started, and I was just gonna commute back and forth, and Biddeford was the closest. And I just wasn't feeling the other teams, and one team was all the way down in Maryland, and that was like $15,000 or something like that just to go play, and it wasn't worth it driving all my stuff down there and playing and then coming back and have to bring everything back and then go back, and then so I decided to come here and start fresh and be closer to home.
And the team and yourself had a pretty good weekend on the ice. Your 5 points helped the franchise earn its first 2 victories. How does that feel to have such an important impact on the team? It felt a lot, more special to me this weekend than it will ever matter to me, just because of what's happened. This weekend was basically for my dad, who ended up passing away last weekend, or last Tuesday. And I've always played for him, and I've always done my best for him, and it just made me realize that I got to live life to the fullest before anything happens. And, this weekend was just, I'm going to go out there, do it for him, and I'm going to get the, help the team with the W, because we need it and we need to go because we have the team. And I just thought that, this weekend was the weekend to do it. How do you want to improve as an individual player this season?
I want to improve on being, a better team player. Like in high school, I was always the go-to guy, and that's the kind of guy I like to be. And when I start going, I get a little bit too selfish and try and do everything myself. But now that I have line mates that I grew up with, and we're honestly I consider them my best brothers. One of my own family members, because I've grown up with them. It's just the chemistry's there, and they're just supporting me, and we go back and forth. And I just rather be that guy that's going to be able to help the team out, just being positive and a good role model to everybody.
Now, when you say grow up, what do you mean by that? Do you mean so far this season, or as children?
As children. I've known Sully since I was probably about 8. We've played against each other, and then eventually he ended up going to the same team as I was, and we played a few years. And then when I was a freshman and he was a sophomore in high school, we played split season with the Eastern Kodiaks when they were still around, and we were line mates, and Wayne Sheen was like our second dad. Like he'd always pick on us and always be like, "Hey, you two go out there," and we always hung out. We were inseparable. And then last year we just kind of like spread apart because of the teams. And Matt Jerome is my line mate too, and we grew up playing against each other. And he was also my brother's line mate back in the day. And and finally seeing him again, it's like, oh, you know what, we've had a lot of catching up to do, but it really wasn't like that. It was just like, hey, we're going right back at it. We're now we're not against each other, we're together.
That's awesome. I want to extend my sympathy to you and your family for the passing of your father, but I thank you for taking the time to sit down here for Wild Wednesday, Matt. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.